Welcome to Comfort Habit number 2. My bad. This is part 2 of things that I need to address. Um, if you aren't up to speed, which is something else that I really could care two shits about and shouldn't be addressing, but I'm going to address it because it has to be done. Um, freaking the Jeffrey Epstein thing. All right, Jeffrey Epstein and Cat Williams. All right, so if you aren't up to speed, Cat Williams was on a pod show. I have no idea. I got no beef with Cat Williams or anybody really. But he started calling out famous people. And I made a TikTok about it. And I meant to address it, but my dumb ass didn't address it in part 1. So this is part 2. Um, there's a pod show that TikTok led me to on YouTube. And I made this TikTok, so I'm going to go ahead and do it here on YouTube. There's 4 black guys on this TikTok. And they had addressed some shit that kind of made sense. All right, they addressed um the whole Jeffrey Epstein debacle, and one of them has said something about the famous people that went there must have known about everything that was going on. And so I made a video countering that, saying, you know, it's highly possible that you could see a crime being committed right in front of you and not even fucking know it. And I stick to that because in the TikTok I made it a very valid point because the guy on the damn podcast or whatever, he said it first and I agreed to it. Sorry, I got like some shit on my computer here and I'm playing this game. Anyway, so the other guy said that it was impossible for you to go somewhere and not know what's going on. I've never been to the Epstein Island. I heard it was nice. Seen pictures of it and how big and huge and beautiful the place is or whatever. It's basically a fucking city. Alright? And while I agree with the other guy, the innocent people could have been there and not know what was going on. You can witness a crime. You can be at a job. Did you work for the boss? And the boss could be the biggest criminal on the fucking planet and commit crimes right in front of you and you can never see it because you're so used to seeing them do the shit you wouldn't even know it was a fucking crime. Now, I will say, with an exception of if you walk in on your boss having sex with a fucking barely pubescent child, now you know something's up. And you should probably report that shit to the authorities. And most normal people probably would, unless, and I say this, unless the boss is like blackmailing them or holding something over them or have one of their family members hostage or some shit. Most people would probably report that shit in, because they're actually literally seeing this shit unfold, you know. But for the most part, you could witness a crime and not know that you're witnessing a crime. It is highly possible for you to see some shit and not know what the fuck you're seeing. It's highly possible. It's not impossible. It is highly fucking possible for that shit to happen. Because many people don't know that they're being robbed by pickpockets on the street until they get to where they're going and they try to pay for something and their wallet is gone. Now, Cat Williams was calling out all kinds of comedians and other stars and shit like that. And the brother that I agree with said, nah, it's highly possible that you can go somewhere, witness a crime, and don't even realize that you're witnessing a crime. I tend to agree with that. I couldn't disagree with that if I wanted to, because some things you're oblivious to. All right? I was walking my nephew earlier in the park today, and I seen a little girl running, and I guess because of military training, I'm always looking around me, And when she started running, I got a little nervous because it was a little girl of color. And y'all know the saying, with people of color, if we see one black person running, we know we all need to start running. Very few of us are going to turn around and look to see what the hell they're running from. Everybody's just going to start running. Alright? Now, it would have to be my fucking job if I was still enlisted. If I see everybody running this way, then I need to turn around and go back in the direction from which they came, because I'm probably going to have to do some damage. But for the most part, there are plenty of times where you see crimes and you don't even realize you see a crime. You really don't. There have been times where you may intervene in something that was a crime that you didn't even know you were intervening in. Alright? It does happen. Now let's say, like, all these people on this little list of Epstein or whatever, Clinton, Trump, don't know if Biden's on the list, but they claim Hillary was on the list and they claim Trump was on the list. They got pictures of Trump with the guy. Doesn't mean he's guilty of sex trafficking. It just means he knows the guy. Same thing with Clinton. Doesn't mean she's guilty of sex trafficking. It just means she knows the guy. Alright? And the rich tend to mingle a lot more with themselves and the high-class politicians than other shit. A lot of the reasons why all these people have been busted was because of the Me Too movement. Where people have done unceremonious things to people. And I said people, which goes back to, you could witness a crime and don't even know that you're witnessing a crime. Same thing with sex trafficking. Same thing with child trafficking. You may not know that that girl who's saying, "Stop it, daddy," is really saying, "Stop it, daddy." You may not know that, which is another reason why you got to be careful where you place your jokes. You really have to be careful where you place your jokes, because you don't know if someone's going to take that as a joke or someone's going to take that shit as the real McCoy. And, there have been mistakes made. There have been mistakes made where grown men have their biological kid, but because the kid is mixed or white passing or black passing and the kid's dad is a white dude, that person has been arrested. And it's like, yo, I'm telling you, that's my fucking child. We got the DNA, that's my child. But there's also been cases like that where the opposite parent just didn't want the child to have anything to do with the other side of the family, which also has happened. Which goes back to, you have witnessed crimes being made. You just may not recognize that it was a crime. You got an island city full of rich people making deals and negotiations and all kinds of stuff happening. And you may think for a New York minute, nothing strange is going on here. No, it's all good. I got nothing happening. I can see for miles and miles and miles. But can you see the forest for the trees if you're lost in the woods? It's a question nobody really asks, because nobody knows how to ask. Alright? You gotta look at what is going on with the deal. How do we tell who's doing what, where, when, and how if we can't tell the good guys from the bad guys? Which is something that a lot of people don't really understand how this works. If you can't tell the good guys from the bad guys anymore, it's kind of a problem. Is it a problem you can deal with? Sure it is. But how do you deal with it? Don't worry. I'm paying attention. I'm just playing this game. We all tend to think that we know exactly what the hell's going on. But then, do you really know what's going on? I brought up in the other video how I'm not getting involved in Hamas in Ukraine, because the Navajo Nation didn't have the water rights, which is more important to me than Hamas in Ukraine. Now, I know it might sound a little bit selfish. When was the last time you heard of anything about the Navajo Nation besides the code talkers? When was the last time? You don't know, right? Of course you don't know. You know why you don't know? Because it's designed that way. It is designed that way for you not to know. Alright? You may not like it, but it is completely designed that way for you to not know. Alright? When you think about things like that, you know, well, how do you determine? You can't. If you don't know what the fuck you're looking for, how are you going to determine what you're looking for? You can't. Which goes back to, you can see a crime being committed right in front of you and never even fucking notice. I mentioned this in my TikTok because we had to do this as a school project in class with one of my teachers for police science. We had identified the exact crime or explained what we thought we saw. Alright? And in that video, you know, we got to see a robbery in progress. Alright? So, while we're watching this robbery in progress, the teacher's telling us, you know, make sure you pay close attention to what you see. Which was an invitation for me to, whatever I do, don't blink. And I obviously blinked because the first time we did the damn task, yours truly got it wrong. Alright? I got it completely wrong. But the second time we watched the damn task, when we got to the second and the third video, I was well aware of what to look for this time around. So I knew not to screw the damn thing up. You know? So I didn't get it wrong. I got at least 2 or 3 of them right second time around. Because I learnt my God-forsaken lesson. You know? Sometimes you catch a detail, sometimes you don't. You know? And a lot of people don't understand how that works. Which is exactly why I said you can be anywhere and witness a crime without witnessing a crime. And you know, they make movies where people accidentally become heroes. Because in real life, people accidentally become heroes. Because they stumble into shit. And they see something and they say something. That's pretty much the gist of it. You can see a crime right in front of you. And if you don't say nothing and nobody else sees it, then was it a crime? It's that same saying, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it when it falls or see it, does it make a sound? We will never know. And actually the answer to that is probably yes, because there's a lot of trail cams out there. And I'm pretty sure that there have been trees that have been caught on trail cam that have fallen and made a sound. Technology isn't my friend. It's not truly my enemy, but that doesn't make the fact that it's just not my friend. I hope I cleared some of this stuff up as far as Epstein and all that, man. I do pray that whoever did the sex trafficking and whoever did bad things to the little girls or whatever, I hope they get the full extent of the law. I also hope that when they die, they burn in hell. That being said, I'm Echo Fengray with this is Come Forever number 2. Be seeing.